Hi guys, it's Amy here, and today I'm going to share with you a single layer mountain landscape card. Now all the stencils that I'm showing you here are from a previous release at A Colorful Life Designs. It's this whole set of all different sorts of landscape edger stencils. I'm just going to use the mountain ones and this one tree edger stencil here today, but there's a whole jam-packed selection of all different sorts of stencils, like underwater or desert theme or mountains, and it's brilliant. So I'll link that information in the video description box below, and I'll also link to a previous video that I made really showcasing that release for you if you're interested. But basically what I'm doing is just laying out the stencils kind of in the order that I'm planning on using them. I'm going to choose the darkest color for the one that's the closest in view. So I'm starting off with the tree stencil, and I'm going to use the darkest, most saturated ink for this. And as you can see, and as the title depicts, I'm just using one color ink. I have this beautiful Daydream color ink from Catherine Pooler, and I'm just going to use that one ink all throughout this entire card for stamping and for all the ink blending. So I'm just starting off with the darkest, most saturated color here on the bottom, and then as I move in the scene farther away with the mountains, then I'm going to get lighter and lighter in color, kind of like how it would be in nature. So the darker towards the bottom, moving up to the lightest. So the awesome thing about these stencils, which they're so unique, is that you get the positive and the negative space. So I use the top part of the stencil and then ink blend below it, and then I come back and use the bottom part of the stencil essentially as a mask to cover up the area that I've just ink blended. So it makes it really super helpful. You have an automatic built-in mask, and I'm just using my magnets on my Wendy Vecchi station tool to just kind of hold it down as I work. You can also use pixie spray, but honestly I haven't needed to with any of these landscape stencils, except for, I take that back, maybe one of the desert ones I did. But these I've been able to make it work with just the magnets. And as you'll see, even when it shifts a little bit, you get that cool white line around it, and it almost makes it look like it's got dimension or like it's die cut pieces. So if the stencil shifts on you a little bit, it ends up almost like a little Bob Ross happy accident. So anyway, I'm just moving along here, kind of moving from top to bottom on my left. That's where I have my stencils. Just kind of keeping them together so I know, what one I need to grab to mask off the next section. And as I get lighter and lighter, you'll see that I don't even end up masking off the final layers because I don't need to, because I'm using such a light color. And towards the end, you'll see I'm not even using the ink pad to put any more ink on my blending brush. I'm just using the residual ink that's left on the brush. So just showing you, I decided not to use the mask here, and now I'm on to the Mountain Edger 3. So I'm just going to do two more of these, relatively light layers, just kind of starting off with a really heavy hand on the bottom and then just getting a little bit lighter handed as I move through the scene and farther back. It's actually good practice for ink blending. It kind of helps you get a feel for when to use a heavy hand and when to use a light hand. So not only is this exceptionally easy and creates a beautiful card, but it's good ink blending practice too if you need some practice with that. So I made all that beautiful layering with just the one single color of ink, and now I'm going to use the Altitude stamp set, which is also from A Colorful Life Designs. This was the first stamp set that Mary Kay added to the lineup, and they just work perfectly with these landscape edgers. So I picked the one that I decided I wanted to use and loaded it up in my Misty, and as you guessed it, using that same ink again. Catherine Pooler ink pads are really juicy, so I'm just barely touching that to the stamp because I don't want it to get too much ink all over the place. So that just about finishes the card here. I'm just going to show it to you. I decided I wanted to use my corner chomper and just add a little bit of interest by chomping that down, but other than that, it is literally super fast. I mean, that's a single layer card, super easy to ship. This took me minutes. I mean, not long at all. So if you're interested in any of the products that I use, I will have those linked in the video description box below. If you enjoyed the video, I would love if you hit the thumbs up and considered subscribing to my channel. And if you hit the bell to the side of that, then you'll be notified anytime I post a new video. So thanks again for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll check you next time. Bye.